Alright, in continuation to the Ludlum Model 12S, here is the basic inside of the unit. You have your main circuit board, but stationed on the bottom you have your main detector. Because it is an internal detector, instead of a GM tube, it carries a scintillator. Now I'm gonna open the scintillator up to show it. I've already had this one open. But to show why the readings in the first video may be different from the readings in... well, to show that the readings on my Model 19 were different from my 12S, and what may be causing that. Now, the detector is held on by two straps that come in and grab the main detector portion, the housing for the scintillator. It is also attached via a ground clip and your positive clip. Have to be careful on these. It is hard to resolder onto it when you get these two broken off through movement. There's not a whole lot of wire on this to solder to. Previous owner put cardboard slims in. These aren't factory, I don't believe, to help dampen and grab the detector housing. Usually it's just your clips, and those work just fine anyways. Now, the detector is a simple scintillation housing. It isn't sealed because it lives inside the meter. It's just a machined cup with a plastic lid. Sometimes you get these lids that are wrapped in electrical tape. I don't really know if people do that to prevent light intrusion or to try to prevent moisture intrusion a little more. Just no matter how much I see it, it doesn't seem to help. If I stand up from my bench, the inside of this has your PMT with voltage divider, but it's slid in and then locked in with a acrylic locking ring. It's a little hard to see in there, but there's a notch here and a notch here for a wrench that assumably Ludlum has. I don't have one of those. You can do it by taking a standard pair of angled tweezers and stretching them out to fit to the required width. Now, these can be stuck and you have to be careful, or once you get it loose you can do one side, just do rotations around it. You have to be careful. The acrylic rings are often very brittle. Acrylic isn't very flexible by itself, but the acrylic ring, if you damage it enough, you can't get it out. So it's a pain in the butt. The acrylic ring is just threaded in. And there's a little bit of threads on this one. As a locking ring, assumably to also act as an insulator between the voltage divider and the can. And then, really, you shouldn't use the wires to pull it out. You should grab like a pair of tweezers to pull it out. and you have your PMT. Now I've already been in this one, so the PMT and all the coupling the coupling compound has been cleaned out. But it's a simple PMT assembly with your voltage divider, your pin, the tube itself, and then the mu metal shield for EMF shielding. Down in this, you get your crystal. If I don't jam it in the tube, god damn it. You get your crystal and a spacer. They usually try to stick some foam down there, but it don't ever last. But you get your crystal, which is just a small 1" by 1" sodium iodide package, then slides into a spacing ring to take up the space of the housing, since the PMT isn't a 1" PMT. Now, some of you can already see this crystal is very subpar, and it's what I see a lot in most Ludlum simulators, is you get a crystal that is very well damaged. This was pulled out of a Model 19, while this one was what was in this Model 12S. It definitely has a good bit of moisture damage. It is still better than what the 19 I pulled this one out of had, where this one is fractured, although it's still clearer than this one. Now, it would work for counting to some degree, but for a proficient detector, this is by no means a good crystal. If we take an example crystal, such as this one right here, this isn't a perfect crystal either. It is a little yellow, but by no means anywhere close to this one. This detector is actually about 10 years newer than this. In this case, this one was dated 5/10/85. And the almost 3-year-old one from 88 is about the same standard. It's kind of a shame. I don't know why they couldn't get these to be more waterproof. This one is very moisture resistant. It's an oil well logging one, so I don't know why they couldn't equate that to these, but oh well. So this detector will get rebuilt. I'm thinking a piece of plastic simulator, preferably a more tissue equivalent, about the size of this spacer, will be slid into the bottom and the PMT will be affixed. Yeah. So my detection, that would be why this one was reading very much different from my other one. Damaged crystal. Also, I have reason to believe the calibration on this specific unit isn't any good as well, based on the heightened response as well. But otherwise, this meter is pretty well good. It just really needs a new coat of paint on the sides. So I'll work on getting a plastic simulator made by a man I know who really does good at what he does to go in this one, and then it'll be put back together. I'll probably film it once I have the replacement crystal